All right, it's night. It's very late. 10:26, 10:27 p.m. January. Okay, 17th, Wednesday, 2024, and I'm back here. So, yeah, very late today, but today I don't regret it. Why? Because today's scrolling in YouTube was very intentional. I mean, I didn't exactly scroll, but yeah, I started, I think, when was it? 7 p.m. somewhere? It's been a while. Actually, what I did today was, the reason I got so late and the reason I'm going to bed late today is basically because of this. This and that and this. So, been listening to music basically. So, it's been a while actually. I have updated my playlist. So, today is basically playlist update. Back then when I was in college, I used to do this like every month. At the beginning of the month, I'll go through like all these YouTube videos, compilation videos where they make charts of like new songs for January, for February, like that. So I would go through those lists, and usually since like I do listen to a lot of like different like language music, like Japanese, Korean, even Chinese and stuff. So like I go to this because it's hard to search them, unlike English songs, like which there are lots of charts for it and stuff. And nowadays Spotify makes it easy, but back then it used to be, I used to go through just YouTube and go through this compilation videos and then go through the whole thing, right? Like 100 songs in one video, like small clips of it. And then I'll go through a lot of those kind of channels for every month at the beginning of the month. And then I'll write them down. And then if I like one of the things I listen to, songs I listen to, I write them down and then later put that in, search it up separately and then put it on my playlist. And if I discover a new artist, I'll go through their popular videos or their channel and then find it. That's how I used to do it. So like, yeah, it's been like, I think it's been close to 2 years now since the last time I did it. So like my playlist has been pretty like, it's basically like completely outdated now. Like I had put new songs recently, but it's like very rarely I put some new songs. Mostly like old songs I remember, I put it on my playlist, my running playlist and stuff. But yeah, today I did it. It's been a while, so like 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 hours straight. I went through a lot of videos, noted them down, put them on a playlist, separate new music, new rock music playlist and stuff. So I actually went through mostly rock, like new Japanese rock especially. So like, yeah, a lot of that stuff. So yeah, I'm late. So that was what I did. So basically updating my music playlist. That's what I did today. So that will probably be the title of the video as well. Anyways, so going back to my weight. 68.8. All right, so that's basically it. Today I ran, so tomorrow I'll rock. A friend of mine wants to join as well, so that's great. So yeah, rocking tomorrow or just walk. Let's see how I feel. I'm like sleeping late, so I probably won't feel good, and I have a bit of a headache because I listened to like too much headphones for like 2 hours, more than 2 hours. Use the headphone. So yeah. Also, by the way, like my headphones. So the headphones I have, this too. So this is the Sony WH1000XM5. I bought this mostly for my iPad. So because the iPad doesn't have the Bluetooth thing, and that adapter I had to go like, yeah, that adapter doesn't really work well. The volume is too low. This is my old one. Yeah, it's pretty weird, you know. But like it's still comfortable and everything works perfectly. So I don't want to buy a new like headband. So, but this is something I replaced a lot. So this is the Sennheiser HD599. This is the one. So I like this a lot. And this is the new one. This is like mostly I got it for ASMR. I used to listen. Nowadays I don't as much because I can sleep very easy. But like once in a while I still like it. So mostly for ASMR and iPad Pro for that, like because it doesn't have Bluetooth. And honestly, most of the phone nowadays, if I update my phone as well, like yeah, I mean my phone, this phone as well doesn't have a headphone jack. So this is mostly for that. But I prefer this open back like Sennheiser, you know. I especially like the Sennheiser sound because like what I figured out, I had the first headphone, like proper headphone I bought was the Audio-Technica ATH-M50X, that famous one. It's like, I think one of the most popular, it's probably the most popular headphone model ever. Like, so ATH-M50X, I got that because of, you know, YouTube. I did my research and stuff. And I really didn't like the sound of that. And it was very like, it was very, how should I put it? It was very flat. Like I actually like flat because I like the, you know, I don't like bass, heavy bass. I don't like those, like, you know, I like to think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I like to think that, you know, no equalizer and like complete, like, you know, as close to natural as possible, whether it's harsh or whatever. That's the way one should enjoy music. At least that's how I like to think that you should enjoy music, just as the artist, what's the word? Just like the artist wants you to. So like I like flat sounds, and usually I don't use equalizers because I don't like to modify, you know, the stuff, unless it's like Bluetooth headsets and like earbuds. I mean earbuds like this. I have this as well. So, and I have this as well. So this is the Samsung Galaxy BudsPro first generation, and this is the Openrun, yeah, Shokz, Shokz like Openrun. So like I do like the whole equalizer thing only on this kind of stuff where like the sound quality, honestly, you know, you won't get like the genuine actual sound quality either way, like that's how the music was supposed to be heard with this kind of stuff. So like I use equalizers with this, but with headphones I prefer keeping it completely like natural and usually like completely flat, you know, or turning off all the equalizer and stuff. So like with both these headphones I do that. So like with Audio-Technica ATH-M50X as well, I did that. But it's like, first thing, it's I didn't like how isolating it was. I don't like that feeling. Like it makes me feel claustrophobic when I use like closed back headphones. And yeah, I've always felt that, like since way back then. I've always felt like way back my love for music, actually listening to music, started I think when I bought like my first Sony earbuds. Were like pretty cheap, but like back then it was pretty expensive, like some 900 rupees or something. So like Sony, those were like the, you know, those old earphones which had like open back, old like classic, those earphones. I think the similar ones you find like iPod, the AirPod 3rd generation or something. They have this like, you know, completely open, there's no isolation, whatever, no plugs to go inside your ear and stuff. It just stays at the side of your ear. So that kind of stuff, Sony earbuds I bought once, and then I liked it, and then I never looked back since then. Like I've always like bought way beyond my means when it comes to my audio, you know, headphones and earbuds and stuff. So like since then I've realized that I like the open sound like, you know, I don't like when things go inside my ear. I get irritated and stuff like that. And so yeah, especially with music, that's like with podcasts and stuff, I'm fine, honestly, whatever. I actually listen to podcasts mostly on this. So on this, I listen to mostly on podcasts and audiobooks. I actually prefer podcasts and audiobooks. I actually prefer the closed insulated sound, passive insulation. I don't like the active noise cancellation at all. The passive one like this just goes in. I really like the Samsung Galaxy BudsPro. I think it's been more than 2 years, and I have for many months I've listened to like more than 10-15 hours audiobooks and stuff with this. So like I like it. Like now I'm actually so used to hearing it like on insulated and on one ear. I don't like to cover both my ears. So like on one ear, that now I prefer this kind of stuff. So basically, like with the ATH-M50X, the issue I had was like, it was the clamping force was too hard also, and the ears, the way it covers my ears, it was pretty painful as well. Plus the closed back design made me claustrophobic and stuff, and that's why I didn't like it. Then I upgraded from that to this one, right? So this one, so Sennheiser HD599, and since I've used this, like I've become a huge fan of Sennheiser since I used that open back Sennheiser, that one. And I especially chose that because Sennheiser, I think HD598 was it. So those were like, from the reviews I got online, those were a bit more, the sound wasn't on your face. Like it was a bit more, you know, like flat, much more way too like outside and flat. So like it didn't center it right to your ears. So like the sound stage was way too broad. That was basically the issue most people had with like the HD598 and the other versions of this series, prior version, at least according to the reviews. I didn't test them out. I didn't have access to it. So, but the thing they told about 599 was it gave the same warm sound signature of Sennheiser and all the, you know, all the advantages of open back, but this one had a bit more closed, like this, a bit more tight of a sound stage. So the bass and everything, the hits were much more like intense on your face with this open back. So this was like among the open backs, this gave you a much more tighter sound. At least when I was doing my research, I got that, and that's why I actually got this, and I don't regret it. Like it's amazing. And the kind of music I listen to, mostly rock, hard rock, pop rock, mostly rock, different versions of rock. Not much metal. I do listen to metal, like metalcore and stuff, but I use, like, it's not often. It's like probably like 10% of my music listening time, or as in like 10% of my rock metal music time. So metalcore is like just 10%, and usually it's hard rock and rock. So and a lot of instrumentals. So this works amazing for that, like the punch, the bass, the, you know, the drum and everything. It's sharp, the snares and everything. So it has enough sound stage as an open back to give the instrument space, so I can hear everything clearly, and everything is well separated. So that's why I like it. This is probably my favorite headphones, like till date. I mean, I haven't owned much anyways, so this was like my first exposure to open back, and I've never looked back since. So, and this one, the Sony, this one is, I actually compared it just now as well. Like it's been a while since I compared their stuff, and this is actually good. And from what the reviews I've read, for a closed back Bluetooth headphone, this is probably the best money can buy right now, like legit. Like, and that's the reason I got it, because after using my Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro for almost 2 years, especially with podcasts and books and stuff, I got used to the convenience of a wireless. And so like I have, like, you know, I extended my budget to get this. Like this is the best. I mean, WH1000XM5 is currently the industry standard. It's the best noise cancellation you can get. And I actually didn't get this for the noise cancellation. I actually got it because according to most reviews, this was like the most comfortable wireless headphone you can buy right now, and that's why I got it, because I needed comfort. Is like my number one priority with wireless, because like if I wanted sound quality and stuff, like I already have like one of the most comfiest things you can wear in your ears, this open back Sennheiser HD599. So this is mostly like for comfort. I got it, and this gives the comfort exactly. It's pretty comfortable, like compared to at least Audio Technica ATH-M50X. This one is very comfortable. It's like the clamping force is so little with this. I loved how like less the clamping force is, and also this cushioning. It's really nice. Also, it covers my whole ear, the whole ear cups. So this is like amazing, especially for ASMR. I really like it, because when you lie down, if you like extend this completely and you lie down and wear this, it actually doesn't, the upper portion doesn't even touch my head. So it goes completely around, and this soft muffs without any clamping force at all. This just stays on the side like that, and it's just tiny, like just big enough to completely cover my ears without touching it. So like it doesn't irritate my ears, but it's not also large enough where it will become a hindrance on the side. So on the side, it is tiny enough where when you know, lay down on your pillow, like the cushioning of the pillow doesn't like press it towards your head. So it's just the right size for me, like at least with my pillow and with my ear size. My ear size isn't large. It's I don't think it's tiny, but it's probably average. So this, it works great for that. So like if you like want ASMR headphones, especially you know, or whatever, like not even ASMR, just listening to music while lying down, this is probably the best you can buy right now, like legit. I've done my research for a long time before settling on this. Like I've done a long time research. I think I did research for months to finally settle on this as a wireless headphone. And this is obviously a bit expensive, but like if you don't want any compromise in your comfort level as a wireless headphone, also with all the advantages of sound quality, and this is also the standard, industry standard for noise cancellation, which is great. Like I don't exactly need noise cancellation, but like since I'm gonna get it, so it's, you know, it's a bonus if I ever happen to need it. But I don't use it, like, and outside when I use headphones and stuff, when I go out in places where there's noise and stuff, I usually feel way too vulnerable to close my ears completely to begin with. Even when I'm in room, I don't like to completely, like, you know, isolate the whole sound. Like, I don't know, I just don't feel safe. Like even at my own room where I feel completely safe, just sleeping and stuff, but like I still, it bothers me. Like complete isolation bothers me. So even with this, I don't turn on I've never used the noise cancellation at all. Like, and I usually just use the passive isolation. Like, so that's basically it. So also with this, the ambient sound mode is pretty good with this. Like it's pretty high quality, and the calls as well. So this is like the most comfortable wireless headphone on top of having a bit closer to neutral sound signature. So this is great. But in comparison to that Sennheiser, this is still, when I compared them on the soundtracks and stuff, especially rock music, this still I think I found them very similar sound wise, as in the balance and stuff. It doesn't have any, like, you know, it doesn't, you know, boost something extra and stuff like that. So like the sound signature for this as well, with the equalizer completely turned off, it's like very close to that sound on the Sennheiser, that open back. But the difference is this doesn't have much instrument separation, as in like the space, like the literal physical space you can feel. This is still lacking in that space it gives to the instrument. So like because of that, with heavy rock and metal, this still sounds a bit like muffled compared to that. Compared to other Bluetooth headsets, this is probably better, at least according to the reviews as well, and in my own experience as well. This sounds pretty good, but compared to an open back, this still like feels lacking in the, like the space in the instrument separation. So because of that, it feels tight, the bass, drums, everything. And if you're listening to a lot of progressive rock and stuff, progressive metal, so lots of instruments going and going crazy, and then it just, yeah, it feels tight. And because of the tightness, some things sound a bit muffled, but you don't exactly miss out on anything. It's just that everything sounds a bit too tight, you know, in the kind of music I listen to. I listen to a lot of progressive rock and metal, so and instrumental. So this does still sound tight. That's the only complaint I have with this. Comfort wise, it's great, but one issue I have with this is because of the narrow headband. Because of this narrow headband, even though this is so light, but it still starts to bother me after, like, it starts to hurt here because of how narrow this is. So like the pressure of the whole weight, because its clamping force is also so less, which makes it very comfortable. But on the flip side, this whole the whole weight of this thing is bore by the, you know, the top, the headband. And this, since the headband is very narrow, as you can see, this is very narrow. So because of that, the whole pressure goes to your head, and that's the biggest issue I have with this. It's like it starts to hurt. So I have, fortunately, this is like long enough, the whole thing, you know, you can adjust it the length. Because of that, I move around here a bit, move front and back, I move it around. So like I spread out the pain. Like, because with me, when I listen to something, I listen to at least 2 hours plus. So I am a heavy user when it comes to headphone and music or whatever, listening, ear, podcast or whatever. So I would probably come under a heavy user, because I usually, it's 2 hours is like actually less. Usually it's 3 hours plus at a time. So yeah, that's the one issue I found out with this. And I don't have that issue at all with this. You can see there's a huge difference between how how wide this is and this. So this does start to hurt your ears because of that. And this, like, I don't feel anything at all. I've never had that pain. This probably, like, after 5+ hours, 6-7 hours, that's when, and that's probably normal. Like, you know, you probably should take a break, which I don't usually. Like, but with this, I start to feel that pain in 2 hours. So yeah, that's the only issue I have with this. Like, it's very comfortable for lying down and stuff. It's more comfortable than the Sennheiser one. Plus this is wireless, so it doesn't bother. So like this, yeah, the only issue I have with this is on long extended listening. The pressure on your head, since it rests on your head, it starts to hurt a bit, and I have to like move it around slightly, from a bit forward, a bit backward. So like I switch it around to, you know, that's basically what I do. And the sound quality compared to that, because I'm so used to that open back and the good Sennheiser sound quality, I because of that open back design, I think this is more of a closed back and open back difference. So sound quality wise, this is probably way up there at the top when it comes to wireless Bluetooth. But because I'm so used to that open back, and I'd like to consider myself above average when it comes to like being sensitive to the sound and listening and stuff. So like, yeah, this feels a bit cramped. Yeah, cramped is probably the right word. So this does feel still, you know, a bit more cramped compared to that. So yeah, that's basically it. So this is like, has become like a headphone review or something. So that will probably be in the title. So like, yeah, my audio gear and updating my music playlist. So that's basically it. I don't use any deck or amp. I probably should use it, but like from the reviews I've read and online, I did my research, this HD599 doesn't exactly benefit that much from the deck. Probably a tiny bit, but not exactly much. So but at some point I'll probably get it. Yeah, that's basically it. So the Sony WH1000XM5 for Bluetooth headphone and stuff. For listening to podcast, I go with Samsung Galaxy BudsPro. That's my main podcast and audiobooks and stuff. And for running the Shokz after Openrun, for running and jogging or whatever, outdoor stuff. So that's it. That's basically it. So, all right. It's become long again, almost half an hour. Anyways, so, yep. Any questions, or if you want a detailed, or you have any question related to these products, any of these gears, like, let me know and I'll answer you in the comments, or if it's a long something, I can just talk about it the next day video. So that's basically it. Good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.